Welcome to the ClashCast podcast. I'm Colton Cruz.
I'm Wyatt Garland.
Brianna Marshall.
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about and analyze anime.
And punch things with our mouths.
Today's topic, Arby's.
Yeah, it's time to talk about it.
What's the deal with Arby's? So, if you're unfamiliar with the social media stream of the least liked place to get a sandwich, like...
I'd hazard to call them sandwiches. It's not even like that popular with fast food chains.
Nope.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah, like, But anyway, Arby's is a bad, like, fast food chain.
It's not
but we'll get more to the food later.
Yeah.
But if you look at their social media stream, it's full of just weeb shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
it's all kinds of...
100%.
It's all kinds of anime and video games.
Cosplay now.
Cosplay, yeah.
Throws me off.
And they're all done, like, with a very minute, like... just art style.
Yeah, they're like made out of like the food wrappers and packages and cardboard. So they're not even just drawings, you know. It's not like they're just having like a digital artist like draw all this
It's
stuff.
kind of like cutouts just like put together.
It's
like paper
really,
sculpture.
It's
yeah.
3D art, and then they also incorporate cosplay, like you were saying, and some really clever ones too. Sometimes they'll have cosplay characters eating Arby's, you know, trying to normalize that act happening, you know, like their food going to people's mouths. But yeah, it's so crazy because it's like a one.
Well, it's consistent too.
Yeah.
Like we're talking like upwards of 3 posts a day. Like like, you know, when the Switch comes out, there's a Switch Arby's like thing. Every time there's an announcement about anything, there's a new Arby's meme to go with it. And then like there's like really like specific ones. Like I mean, we get Kill la Kill. They did a whole video stop motion animation of the Thousand Sunny from One Piece.
Yeah.
Made out of food boxes sailing through a sea of curly fries. Like. It's crazy stuff.
Someone's having a ball over there is what we're saying.
I think my favorite is when it's just Kirby. His mouth is open and like literally all the colors are just going right into his mouth.
It's like good content. It's like not...
And it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
it's
amazing.
well done. It's so funny because if you've ever seen an Arby's commercial, their marketing scheme seems to be veering in a completely different
they're
direction.
the beef people? Or...
We have the beef. They're very masculine.
have
the meats.
The
okay.
meats. Yeah, they're very about there because they have, they don't do hamburgers.
Nope.
They do like
Roast beef sandwiches.
They do like roast beef sandwiches, and they've done really clever press stuff in the past. I know, like in like 2014, they did like an out of the they started with like a lot of the other fast food companies doing out of the box advertising where they released a 5-disc like 10-hour DVD set of like they're just meat cooking, like it was just like slow TV like food porn like.
It's beautiful.
What?
And they also they've sent like a sandwich. They sent one of their sandwiches like into space with like a weather balloon before. Like
What?
Yeah,
Just
like
because you know.
But like other fast food places have done like that similar kind of thing. And
Makes
like
sense.
what is it like Wendy's?
Viral marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, viral marketing, which is like where we're at with like companies right now.
That's what people think.
But
Yeah, it's so interesting they have so much character in their advertising because you were saying it's like Wendy's has recently been doing a similar thing in the sense of they had a very snarky Twitter and then somebody from the internet portrayed that as sort of like this
like a tsundere Wendy.
Yeah.
And so like that became a huge thing that a bunch of artists were generating content on
and it was
outside
all,
of Wendy's. Yeah, that is the
shit.
definition of like a viral like
that
a
exploded.
viral marketing campaign like taking off.
And they definitely supported that and were like on board.
Yeah.
Obviously they didn't accept any of the mascot differentiation. They're like, no, this is
Yeah,
we're
I
doing
mean
our
Rule
thing.
34 there is
Yeah.
tough.
They're
Like,
they're doing their own thing, but
so many brands ruined by Rule 34.
Yeah,
Do you remember
brought to light, I mean.
Do you remember those insurance commercials and they had like a secret agent girl and she had pink hair?
oh yeah.
Oh my god!
They limited the
They
F out of that.
they literally had to stop doing it because the company saw way too much porn of that out there.
I
they
liked her.
Yeah, no, they were like we're putting that away.
Well, she didn't have any like personality, so they couldn't angle it. She was just, I'm sexy. So of course it was just straight line.
What is it? The progressive girl, like the live action, the like flow girl. There's flow porn out there.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah, it's gross. It's
she's
gross.
a real person, okay? She's got an identity that you could work with. You could write with that, all right?
I
There's
just can't trust
content
the
there.
internet at
No,
all.
again,
that's-
Rule 34.
that's
Everything
the
is
rule.
porn. Everything is porn.
Yeah.
Everything
Oh
is
my God.
porn.
Yeah, and the thing that's interesting about Arby's, as opposed to these other things that have had, you know, weeb angles or
taken on them.
Yeah.
exactly. They're just like, no, like we understand this is the way the internet is. We're just going to dive 100% in.
Yeah, they're not the victim.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and they're expanding on it. They're owning it. And
We are the victim of Arby's living.
Yeah, you want to get to the food? Have you ever had Arby's?
I have had Arby's before, so
Why?
the first time in my the only time in my adult life I've had Arby's, I had with Michael. Michael likes Arby's, kind of, I think.
He's had it. He tolerates it. I guess.
But like, I think he mostly gets like their cheese sticks and like Pepsi because they're like one
I
of the
will
few.
say their cheesesteaks are pretty.
See, there you go.
Okay, so
I
you
love
got
like
pretty
what is it?
good.
One of the early ones they did too was they did. I guess they have some kind of like. There's some kind of triangular shaped fried food. I would have to guess they're either chicken or cheese or nachos. There's something. I don't know. I
definitely
really
cheese.
don't know. But they did like It's Dangerous to Go Alone, and they did like them like arrange like the Triforce, and that was like one of the really early, like really soft kind of like.
Smart.
Oh, we're gonna like be a little nerdy here. But no, I've had some other food. I got one of their like French dip sandwiches because I was like, how can you mess up a French dip?
Yeah,
It's
it's a
just
French
roast beef
dip.
and you dip it in hot brown juice. Like terrible. It was really
Well,
bad.
I mean, it's fast food.
Yeah,
We've-
but it's like you know, like burgers work. They're meant to be like kind of warm and like a little moist. But like when you get a roast beef sandwich that's just like wet
It's
and
not
dripping,
It-
it's like
yeah.
this is really bad.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like you don't get the same psychological thing where like, oh, I want my burger steaming
Yeah,
hot,
yeah.
like off the fryer grill.
Also,
that
it's really not
connotation.
filling too.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
like
it's
on
like-
some of it, it's like you can get 2, and I'm like,
and they do
No.
curly fries, which are fine if they're good, but
or they're not.
they're just wet. They're so wet.
they're wet and
And
soggy.
like that's the thing, like a sandwich. So I'm a big
He's
sandwich
a big
person.
sandwich guy. He's
let's
a
be real
big
here.
sandwich guy.
There's a whole thing with sandwiches. Like if you're gonna use like wet, moist meat,
Yeah.
you need dry bread, and Arby's just doesn't toast their bread in a way that keeps it dry.
Yeah.
It's literally like taking like the McDonald's like whatever the like kids meals come on and putting that on that. So like the bread is just like, oh, so you gave me a sponge to eat like wet stuff on. So the bread just soaks it up and is just disgusting.
And what I also will say about their menu is, I haven't eaten there at all, but I've seen exclusively through their social media, because they use their own food and they
Which
use
is smart,
everything in their content. I don't see anything green, and I'm not trying to say they should have green things, but it's just kind of like, all right, you've got like, what, 3 things on your menu?
For the sake of the social media color palette, they should really add
Throw a
lettuce.
salad in the egg, that's what I'm talking about.
Just for the
They've got all that red, they need some green.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, here we are. You've never eaten at an Arby's before. You probably haven't eaten at Arby's in how long? Like,
So when I was little, being in the military, we traveled. Being in the military, we traveled.
But the one constant was Arby's.
I love
A
the
lot.
Bree military stories. They're always so good.
when with my family, we would always travel around a lot, and we really didn't have time to like pack a meal or anything, so we just usually stop at fast food restaurants. My parents love Arby's.
Oh, yeah.
Really? What do they get? What is their like?
So
Go-to?
they're
Yeah.
huge with the roast beef sandwiches, and I'm just like, I'm not feeling it. So I would just usually just get like the fries. I tried like the sandwiches here and there, but they have like the pizza sliders, which are okay.
Pizza slider.
I know they just throw whatever shit.
Yeah,
on the
obviously
menu.
that is where that fast food corporation needs to tangent off to. It's like, well, we made a really bad sandwich. Let's try some pizza.
Yeah, pizza sells,
And
right?
like, and my brother, he's just like, this is absolute garbage. I refuse to eat. So we just go to McDonald's. Like we would literally do 2 stops. It's like, okay, this is for
So
our
they
parents.
would double stop and still choose Arby's.
Yep.
Man, I'm not judging.
There's just some brand
no, I mean,
connection there.
Clearly, I mean, like there are people who eat Arby's. There are people who eat Burger King. Like it boggles my mind, but like they're out there.
There's
like,
people who eat roast beef sandwiches, and I'm just like, but why? It's not a sandwich. It's not like a burger. Burgers are like, that's filling with roast beef sandwiches. It's like
I mean, I like a sandwich that's got roast beef on
Yeah.
it, but like
Arby's sandwich. It's
Arby's,
just not
a
it's not
sandwich
filling.
is that really a sandwich? I don't know.
For me, a sandwich needs like a bed of lettuce or vegetables, so you can pour on a bunch of like Italian dressing and like vinegar, so then you get that nice wet crunch with the meat. That's what works for me.
Oh, I will say their Jamocha shakes are bomb. Holy
Okay.
shit, that's the
Okay, they make
best
shakes.
Okay,
Yes.
like it's sensible.
Cookies and cream and Jamocha shakes.
So,
Holy
I guess
shit.
the
So
real
they can
question-
mix milk and sugar.
Yeah, congrats. They got a machine that does that for
There
them.
you go.
So what is your theory on why they do the
Right,
anime thing?
right,
Like,
that's the
what
idea.
What is in your mind your headcanon for this?
Well, I
Like,
feel like
Arby's
we were talking
invention?
about with the last podcast with like anime being like mainstream, like the whole nerd culture going mainstream. If you go to the Arby social media, you don't see any of the regular shit anymore. It's nothing but weeaboo shit. That's all it is now.
Yeah, they have 100% committed to. It's it.
So you think it's just a branding thing? They're like all in, like
I
a
feel
CEO.
like because like
but why? Like.
honestly, I don't know. It's like kind of the same. It's like why do celebrities like why is everyone jumping into like the weeaboo shit like. With like we even talk.
Why did Nicki Minaj choose Chun-Li, huh?
Yeah,
But yeah, she has Mortal Kombat and like her freaking background bothers me.
Okay.
Because that's just how the internet. That is to be literate in the internet. You have to do that stuff now, basically. My headcanon, personally, for why Arby's is the way that it is some CEO's like son was just put in complete control of the social media for whatever reason, and he like looked up from the corner of the table that. He's never had any conversation with, and put on his hood and said, "I won't fail you," and Naruto runned out of the room. And then, like, just went to the keyboard and it's like, "I'm doing this." And nobody has checked on him
and
since.
just sits there with, like, rappers and scissors, toiling away, like...
Gonna put that art degree to use, Dad! Like, I feel like it's a vendetta. Like, somebody clearly has something invested in being like, no, this is great. Because there's no hint of that in any other... like commercial, which they pay much more money for, of
That's
course.
true.
Right. Yeah, like that's the diversionary. It's like they have like millions upon millions of like digital reach with like their social campaigns, but like they'll spend. I'm sure their TV budget outmatches 10 times their like, digital budget,
Makes sense.
and they'll spend that. So it's an so that's the interesting. That was my headcanon too. Is I was like, yeah, it's got to be just somebody's son, and they're just super into anime, and the higher ups just are like. Whatever.
I don't know what Facebook is.
Yeah, they're just like, I don't Insta whatever. And it's like, I mean, look at how well they run a like fast food restaurant. I mean, like, I figured it was literally just well, whatever.
We'll
like,
give it to Steve.
Yeah.
He's always in the Crunchyroll.
But I did look it up, so I'll give us like the real
okay.
So there's a thing.
so that we come to some kind of finality here. So it is. They do have a sophisticated like digital marketing team. They have a head of digital media. They have like digital marketing team on it. And from the head's perspective guy, he said in an interview with Kotaku that they were doing that same thing where there's like, yeah, we were kind of snarky on social media, but like we also had to like push all of our like, here's the new burger coming out, or here's the new sandwich, like every other fast food restaurant has to do. Something a lot of people don't realize about fast food is like, it's kind of like M&M's. Like M&M's doesn't really need to advertise like. Have you heard of M&M's before?
Yeah.
Like
when people want fast food, they get it.
Exactly, and like the reason like M&M's specifically, the reason they advertise is so that when you think to yourself, "Hey, I want some candy," you're like, "M&M's is a candy."
Yep.
To yourself, like that, it's purely just to be like, "Hey, M&M's is candy," and like you're like, so like an M&M's commercial, they're not tracking like, did you go out and buy M&M's like right after you saw it, like. So the same thing for fast food, they work in a way where they can't just be like, "McDonald's, we got burgers." So the way fast food works is they have to continuously come up with news about their products. So that's why like the McRib only comes for like a certain portion of the year.
Yeah, it's
because it has to be. It's literally just a marketing thing. It's like, oh, we can spend our money on saying that the McRib is here this part of the year. Thank God. Whoever invented that at McDonald's must just be like rolling in it. But anyway, and that's like again like same thing. So like Arby's was doing in that same cycle. There's like, so we just have to like make up a new arbitrary sandwich every like couple of times. We have to launch cheese Doritos, like
Illuminati like themed food.
So the like chief of their digital strategy.
Taco Bell. Oh my god,
that was crazy.
Jesus,
that's bad commercial, bad marketing campaign.
No.
Go on.
Anyway, the digital guy, he was just like, I want our social media to just look different from what the other fast food chains are doing. And his team sat around and were like, well, we really like video games. Can we do video game stuff? So they did like one, they did like a random one, like the Triforce one. They were just like, we'll just do one and like whatever. And like people were like, oh, this is so fucking cool. And so people actually engaged on it. Like, how much do you have to say personally about your identity and like the new McRib coming out? It's you're either a McRib person or you're not. Like, there's not really any way for you to be like, oh, you were culturally like identifying with me in a way.
Right.
But Triforce, people were like, well, shit, I've never eaten Arby's before.
Yeah,
but, like,
and are they supporting gamer culture?
Yeah, they were like...
I'm online, I'm hip.
So, like, beyond that, it got a lot of people, like, I mean, like we just said, our experience with Arby's. why would we talk about Arby's if it wasn't for this specific...
We're doing a podcast
specific
about it.
thing that makes us feel like they're targeting our own identity, and it's identifiable, because it doesn't make sense. There's not, like, at the end of, like, the... Sonny coming over the curly fries, they don't have a, like, buy the new burger, like...
It's just there.
It's just like, wow, they wanted to serve me content even if they don't want to serve me food.
Exactly. And, what's really interesting is that they went with that angle because... it just shows illiteracy, they were like, no, we went with what worked, what got engagement online. And what I was going to say is they don't have, like, a mascot. So what they're really doing here is they're creating...
cowboy hat, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't work. They don't even have anybody in the cowboy hat. So they really just starved for... But it's also an opportunity for them.
Because it lets other people just fill in.
Exactly. They don't have to, a sounding board is it's a really good sales technique. There is an artist at my company, and he's an older guy. He doesn't say a word. He just sits there, and people project exactly what they want from him. They just talk to him, and they let it all spill out because he just nods. And they're like, oh, you must be so good. Like, oh, and okay, yeah, and you're gonna, wow, and they just push it all out. And it's because he's an artist and he has zero identity. And they have this ability here because, they don't have a character. They don't have an angle.
They're again, talking about kind of like the victim versus they're not projecting something out at us. They're kind of like opening up the story and inviting us in to be like, oh, let me look at this Arby stuff. All three of us, we went and we scrolled through some of their posts.
Oh, yeah.
How many ads do we click on and be like, oh, we're gonna look at their all of their posts. Let's just roll through.
You would like that Urbosa one, right?
Oh my god,
you throw them
so
a click.
good.
It's just no, it's decent art.
Because they provided content to us for free that we like, and it's even if we didn't buy a sandwich, we came away with a positive kind of experience with Arby's, and gradually, the M&M thing, it sticks with us. And we're fast food, what's a fast food restaurant? And you're like, oh man, Metroid, because they did a great Metroid one. They did, for the Ultron, they did Ultron's head.
That's so crazy.
And the thing is, with that, they get picked up, obviously trend jacking. So any new movie that's out, it's oh my god, look at this thing related to this other thing.
The super finale, they did a really good Goku, and I was just like, damn, they're on top of things.
And that's the huge thing with this is they're not just oh, the new Marvel movie came out, here's Thor on a package. It's no, here's Metabots.
Yeah.
Speaking of, so I don't know if you guys know who I think it's Pro ZXD or Pro XD. He's the chubby Asian guy who did Vines.
Oh, okay. No, I don't.
Sounds familiar.
No, wait.
He's so good at impressions. And
wait,
yeah.
I think
the one guy was no, I just wanted to see titties.
Yeah.
Yes, I love him!
So, literally in 2012, he just made an offhand joke where he was Arby's ads, this ads, and he threw down the Arby's ad, and it was Metabot. It was a Metabots little thing he made in their style. Literally, this past week, they made what he made and did it to their social media, and they sent him the one they used in their picture of the Metabots together.
Because you see trend jacking. Why not?
And exactly. And then the interaction again. It's deep veins. They're not just again I was saying. They're not just doing oh, here's
surface
Thor.
Level.
They're no, we are with you. We are you people. Yeah. We identify.
And the capital that they're gaining, because we were talking about human capital earlier today. The capital that they're gaining is something that no fast food restaurant has right now.
True.
Respect. Just even a shred. They did a Metroid. Listen, I love Metroid. And Metroid fans know there's not a lot of Metroid content out there. Nintendo's not too friendly with the old Samus Aran, so it's anything is is that Samus?
Exactly. No, I mean it's so specific and it's so American. It's not there's Arby's in Japan that's rolling it in because of this.
Right.
They are on the American social media page. They're here, and it makes us feel special and weird.
Well, at least aware, because I like the fact that they have different TV ads. Because if I saw a Weeaboo TV ad, that doesn't make any sense yet. Okay, Middle America is not ready for this shit. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't fly.
Because
wouldn't make any money.
I think kind of what we were saying too, so let's say a big fish like McDonald's did this.
Oh no!
No way we trust that.
Pandering.
Saying, don't respect. Exactly. We'd feel well, fuck you, McDonald's. But Arby's sucks, so it works. Arby's kind of sucks and I already know I don't want to eat at Arby's. Yeah, so you advertise to me and doing a good job. It's all right, I'll give you the little. here.
I feel like it'll only
it was 3
work,
a.m.
especially with the Weeaboo ads. It'll only work if they throw it in like with Crunchyroll or like Funimation.
Well, the
like,
thing is, this is what they're building to. That's what they're building to. Now they have a history of that.
oh my god.
Now a sponsorship with Funimation or Crunchyroll. If they're at a convention, something basic, I mean, they need to work on their menu, but like that's not the point. The point is, there are people who would eat it. So
There are people who eat it. They exist. They are around. They
Yeah,
are a
it's
functioning
fine.
business. Let's not like none of the three of us own a fast food chain. That's like an international food fan chain. Fast food chain. Food fan.
They're doing great.
But it's so interesting. Again, it's we had to talk about it.
Yeah.
Something
we need-
that's just been like on the back of the head, and it's just like, but why?
Yeah.
now?
We brought it up a couple times to ourselves, but now it's reached the boiling point, and they're going to continue. I mean, I see no reason why they won't stop this trend, and they're only picking up popularity with this.
Right, it is a feedback loop. If they had done this for a year and it hadn't worked, they'd have stopped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The reason they've gotten to this peak point where, like, I'm seeing Arby's ads on Instagram, a space that has tons of ad inventory, like overstock, that nobody's buying,
Yeah.
and they're reaching me on such a specific targeted level. So, like, I work in digital advertising. Like, one of the huge promises of digital advertising is we're gonna match you with the customer that wants your stuff. And so, like, that's the idea. Advertising isn't evil. Advertising is meant to be like, hey,
Specific.
I really need this thing. Here's a company that can provide a good product that matches what, like, my needs are. Like, advertising is supposed to be like this two-way thing where, like, they meet in the middle and it's like, oh, I did need, like, a coupon off of this thing that I actually needed. And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
advertising just brought the two of us together at the right time.
Yeah. It's about getting the information though, because like I
Exactly.
bought one thing off of Instagram.
It's providing that information and customizing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But like a lot of companies kind of in this era now, because adults and old white people running companies don't understand this, you end up with like Hulu. Name like an ad on Hulu that you've got that has felt like, yeah, that was a good ad.
Oh
And
yeah.
you might be able to name a couple,
was not
but
targeted
name the amount of
perfectly.
ads that you're like, why am I getting this ad at all?
Yeah.
Why
Oh,
are
yeah.
you trying to advertise a Ford Expedition to me,
A car.
a like 20-something-year-old
Yeah.
fresh out of college? It's like, I can't buy that. Or like AARP commercials. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm like you like on the most
I'm watching
basic
JoJo.
scale.
Like, what the hell?
On the most basic scale, you should have wasted that like
that space.
probably 5 cents they spent to reach you as an audience member there. But like
on a large scale.
here Arby's is, and I get like an Instagram ad on like a platform I'm on a platform I care about, giving me content that fits on that platform that is art,
Yeah.
and then really specific to my interests. That is like the beauty of digital advertising, like working correctly.
The hook. It's the hook.
And you know what? Maybe we'll eat Arby's at some
Hey,
point.
you know what? It
You
can
know what?
happen.
No, I'm gonna say it. After the convention, we're
Right.
gonna go to
I
Arby.
know.
We're gonna go to Arby's and we'll do a
That's-
review.
There you go.
We'll do it.
Do one of those
Stay
open
tuned
box
for an
reviews.
Arby's reaction video.
We will get one thing. My goal will be try to find one thing green there.
Yeah, we'll each get something
And-
different,
yeah.
and we'll try Arby's.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments below, guys, if you guys are brave enough to try Arby's. Don't choose Arby's, but try Arby's.
Oh man, we're hacking it up.
This video brought to you by Arby.
Yeah, I wish. Hey, I'll do some
We're
art.
open to it, for
I'll do
sure.
some
Yeah.
art. You want to draw?
Catch you next time, guys.
眠れ